We're reacting to another Kevin Samuels clip, and this one centers on timing, self-awareness, and one of the biggest questions in modern dating. What does it really mean to be ready for a high-value partner?
Okay, Nefertiri, and then go ahead. Hey, hello.
Hi.
Hi. How old are you?
I am 30.
What do you have for me on the topic?
Well, I actually have a question, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
What do you do? So I'm 30. I'm in the danger zone, as you call it. A background on me quickly. I was in a relationship for 10 years. It didn't work out.
Okay.
10
10
then
years?
I got 10.
Okay.
From 16 to 26.
All right.
It didn't work out. And then I got in another relationship for about a year. That didn't work out either. I did some reflection the last 2 years. I realized that I do come from a family that's very masculine in terms of their energy. I've had many conversations with my father. My father was trying to tell me this since I was a little girl, but I didn't understand until recently.
So what's your question?
So where do we go? Because there are a lot of women like us, like myself, that feel like, where do we find these high value men in short notice? Like, in the danger zone.
You're asking like many questions at once. First off, you were in a 10-year relationship from 16 to 26. How old was the man?
Same age.
Why didn't you guys get married?
He wasn't my husband.
For 10 years he was. He imprinted on you. Then you say you were in a relationship for a year? How long after the 10-year relationship broke?
It was supposed to be a rebound, and then it ended up a relationship.
Right, because you're a relationship kind of woman.
Yeah.
How long after the 10-year relationship was over did you start seeing this guy?
Maybe 8 months or 9 months.
Not nearly long enough to detox from a 10-year relationship.
No, it wasn't supposed to be a relationship.
But so finding a high value man, what kind of woman are you? High value man is a very small percentage of men. What kind of woman are you, and what kind of feminine asset would you be to whatever man, especially a high value one?
What kind of? I think there might be people that physically may be more attractive than me, but I think that I'm very caring, compassionate. I'm supportive. I'm a team member.
Okay. So at 30 years old, do you want to be married?
I do.
You want children?
I do.
Man is a very small percentage of men. What kind of woman are you, and what kind of feminine asset would you be to whatever man, especially a high value one?
What kind of? I think there might be people that physically may be more attractive than me, but I think that I'm very caring, compassionate. I'm supportive. I'm a team member.
Okay. So at 30 years old, do you want to be married?
I do.
You want children?
I do.
How many kids would you like to have?
3, but I don't know. 2 would be great.
And what state do you live in?
I'm from Brooklyn.
Are you still in Brooklyn?
Yep.
So in order to have 3 kids in New York, you got to make a little money.
I know.
So did you go to college?
I did. I'm an RN.
Oh, there we go. Nurses. Seriously though, nursing, hardworking profession, tends to have, strangely enough, so many nurses today tend to be masculine. When
Very.
nursing used to be feminine practice.
Yeah, I agree.
But you're a hardworking woman with no time and RN. How you expect to find a man? High value or not? Because
Great
after
question.
after the hanging out, the kissing, and the sex, then what?
Great question. That's where I'm coming, because there are a lot of
But
women
the
like
thing is,
myself.
no, but I'm concerned with the woman I'm talking to right now. See, one of your women's biggest problem is worrying about other women. You need to save yourself.
You're
Pull
right.
the oxygen mask down over your face first. At 30 years old, how are you competing with 21-year-old women?
Oh,
You're supposed to be able to compete with them on experience, on
I think I have
femininity.
that.
Yeah, but is it positive?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. We had a healthy relationship until it wasn't.
And
For the most part.
when wasn't it healthy? What year?
Mm. Maybe the 6th year.
So you're in it 4 more after it wasn't healthy. That's not
Yeah,
very healthy.
true.
Have you had therapy?
I have.
All right. First, I would say the notion of high value is very finite. Only 10% or less of women get a high value man. A man, an average everyday working man, somebody that you can make a deal with and who wants to have children. This $300,000, $400,000 a year lifestyle, that's not realistic. The average black man makes $42,000 a year, whether it's in New York or California. What'd your dad do for a living?
My dad was an electrical engineer, and he did real estate, so he hasn't been working. He
Where's your mom?
My mom is also an RN, but works in management.
And are they married?
No, they divorced when I was 3.
Okay. So you're you have a job that's going to make it very difficult to find a man.
Yeah.
You can be around a bunch of doctors, but because you work hard and long, irregular hours. Hello?
Yeah. I work 3 days a week, 12-hour shifts.
Well, I would say this is where, getting on your feminine journey, which is something I can't help you with, but getting around, softening of the hard edges. And I know coming from Brooklyn, New York, every time I speak to a woman on the East Coast, they got that little bit of a harder edge. But femininity is your secret weapon. And so many modern women have given up femininity for masculinity and a job, but that keeps you alone and single. I don't have a cookie cutter answer, ma'am. I really don't. But I will say this. If you know you want to be married with 3 kids, you are dead in the danger zone.
Danger zone!
27 to 35. You need to focus like a laser on becoming.
So I went part-time. Because I realized
you need to focus like a laser on becoming an asset to the kind of man you want. And that means you need to focus on the kind of man and the lifestyle you want before you need to focus on the lifestyle and the kind of man you want and go backwards from that. Because everything you're about to tell me that you've done is irrelevant if you haven't done what I just said. You're just doing what you think, and you don't have time to do what you think. You just sit down, figure out what kind of lifestyle do I want to have? How do I want to interact with a man? What do I need? Not what do I want, what do I need, and reverse engineer. Don't just start doing stuff because that's not going to get you the outcome you want. I want to go ahead and get to the next calls, but I appreciate it, man. And no problem. How old are you? All right. What's really holding modern women back?
I think that feminism in general is holding women back. I think it's taught a lot of women that men are looking for the qualities that women look for. Like they want women to have high paying jobs and like bring that to the table, when I think men aren't interested in that at all. And no one really ever talks about that except, I found you, but I haven't really heard that from anyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't care. We want
exactly.
Fit feminine, but I'm starting to hear more men talk about it. The reason a lot of guys don't talk about it is because it was punished. It was
By
punished.
feminists.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, if you want to have less of it, you guys have to start standing up to these women who say they're speaking for you. That's one of my goals. I get tired of women who claim to be feminists, but who are really selfish and using feminism as a weapon to bludgeon men and to silence women like yourself because you don't want to be seen as speaking against women. When you know you don't want the kind of outcomes or situation that these so-called female advocates would have for you. I mean, I don't think you want to go dig ditches, fight wars, build skyscrapers, clean sewage. I mean, you don't strike me as that kind of woman. I mean, you can if you like to, but I don't think you really would prefer to do that, given a choice of doing something that's better suited for your temperament or skill set. I mean, tell me.
Well, no, I think you're totally on it. And it's ironic because I think most women I know would rather be in the home. And it's like, we want to stay at home and take care of kids, but we almost feel embarrassed to even want that because you've been taught so much that it's like looked down upon. You know what I mean? To not have a career.
Did you happen to watch? Did you watch Marvel's Infinity War or Endgame?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. Well. How about this? Now's the time. Now the battle is engaged. More men are starting to speak about this. It's starting to become a little bit more acceptable. We're going to need women allies because there are a lot of men who actually have been taught to believe the same thing you believe. There are men who are like, I think it's misogynistic to want a woman to be a traditional this or that. And it's like, well, no, it's not.
Totally. It's like,
So we're going to need you. So here's what I would suggest. Anytime you're hearing women say these kind of things, challenge it. Challenge it. Don't walk away. Challenge it and say, well, you know, that may be right for you, but what's right for women like myself is the choice to be this. And if you really believe in equality for women, you should support my choice because especially if you want a firm country and a community, the fundamental building block of a society is the family.
I agree with that.
Individuals. But all right, thank you. You won't be on camera.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks.
And thank you for at least popping on and playing by the rules. All right.
In this clip, Kevin is speaking with a 30-year-old woman who confidently says she's finally ready for a high-value man. She explains that she's matured, knows exactly what she wants, and believes now is the perfect time to find the man she's been looking for. But Kevin isn't interested in simply accepting that statement at face value. Instead, he starts asking the kinds of questions that made his show so popular, questions that force people to think beyond what they want and consider whether they're prepared for the kind of relationship they're asking for. So let's get into it. Right from the beginning, the caller says she's looking for a successful man. She wants someone who's financially secure, emotionally mature, ambitious, confident, and ready to settle down. Now let's be honest. There's nothing unusual about wanting those qualities. Most people would love a partner who's responsible, dependable, and has their life together. But Kevin immediately asks something different. What makes you say you're ready now? It's a simple question, but it's an important one. The caller explains that she's spent her 20s focusing on herself. She wanted to enjoy life, build her career, and gain life experience before settling down. Now that she's reached 30, she feels like she's ready for marriage and a serious relationship. Kevin listens carefully before asking another question. What has changed besides your age? And honestly, that's where the conversation begins to shift. The caller talks about maturity. She talks about learning from past relationships. She talks about personal growth. All of those things are valuable. But Kevin keeps bringing the discussion back to one central point. Being ready isn't just about how you feel. It's also about whether your actions, habits, and circumstances align with the kind of relationship you say you want. As the conversation continues, Kevin asks her about the type of man she's targeting. She describes someone earning a high income, leading a successful career, and living a disciplined lifestyle. Again, Kevin follows up with one of his signature questions. What does that man usually look for in a partner? The caller hesitates. She begins listing qualities she believes she has. She's independent, she's educated, she's fun to be around, she's confident. Kevin acknowledges those qualities but asks her to think from the man's perspective instead of her own. Because relationships involve two people making choices. It's not just about selecting someone, it's also about being selected. That's one of the biggest themes in Kevin's content. One thing that stood out to me during this conversation is Kevin's emphasis on preparation. He explains that if you're aiming for a certain type of partner, it's worth understanding that person's lifestyle, priorities, and expectations. It's similar to preparing for any major goal. If you want a particular career, you usually develop the skills required for that career. If you want to compete at a high level in sports, you train accordingly. Kevin argues that relationships work in a similar way. As the discussion moves forward, he challenges the caller to think about timing. He asks whether waiting until now has made her dating options larger or smaller, not to criticize her, but to encourage honest reflection. Because every major life decision comes with trade-offs. Choosing to prioritize one goal may delay another, and understanding those trade-offs is part of making informed decisions. Another point Kevin makes is about accountability. Not blame, not regret. Accountability. He explains that everyone has the right to make their own choices. But once those choices are made, we also have to accept the realities that come with them. That's true for men. It's true for women. It's true for everyone. By the end of the conversation, Kevin's message becomes pretty clear. If you're serious about attracting a high-value partner, it's important to understand not only what you want, but also what that partner values and whether your current approach aligns with those expectations. Overall, I think this clip is another reminder that successful relationships are built on more than preferences. They're built on preparation, compatibility, communication, and a willingness to honestly evaluate yourself. Whether you agree with Kevin's delivery or not, his questions encourage people to think critically about their expectations and their long-term goals.